All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to talk about a huge idea, one that's really at the heart of all trust and character: reliability through action. Seriously, getting this right can completely change how people see you, and maybe more importantly, how you see yourself. Just think about it for a second. You know that feeling, right? That sinking feeling of disappointment when someone says they'll do something and then, well, they just don't? It stings. It chips away at trust. We've all been there, on one side of that broken promise or the other. And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? Anyone can say, I'll be there for you, or, yeah, you can count on me. Talk is cheap. The real proof, the hard evidence of our character, isn't found in what we say. It's in what we consistently do. So, if words and promises so often fall short, what's the alternative? What actually works? Well, that leads us right to the core principle we're unpacking today. Let's get a really clear definition of what reliability through action actually means. This right here is the key. It's a total shift in your mindset. Instead of, announcing what you're going to do, you just focus on doing it. It's about building a reputation, not on big, grand statements, but on a quiet, steady pattern of just getting it done. Your actions literally become your spokesperson. Now, look at this comparison, because it really highlights the difference. Making a verbal promise, it's kind of like writing a check you hope you can cash. It creates an expectation, sure, but there's no guarantee. Consistent behavior, though, that's like money already in the bank. It's a proven track record, a history of dependability that speaks for itself. One is just hope. The other is solid evidence. Okay, so why does this matter so much? Why should we bother focusing so much on action instead of words? Well, the payoff is huge, and it is absolutely invaluable. It affects everything from your career to your most important relationships. This is so crucial. Yeah, being reliable means the project gets finished, the task gets done, but the real reward, the real currency you earn from all this, it's trust. Trust is the absolute foundation of every single meaningful relationship we have, personally and professionally. And you can't buy it, you can't demand it, you can only earn it. And you earn it with action. And you can see the ripple effect right here. When you operate this way, you're not just building trust with other people, you start to build it with yourself. Your own character gets stronger. The people counting on you, they feel secure, not anxious. Think about that one coworker you can always count on. You never waste a second worrying if they'll deliver, right? That's the gift you give to others. And your reputation for being solid starts to walk into rooms before you do, which in turn builds this incredible sense of self-respect. And wow, this chart really puts it all into perspective. Just look at the components of a strong character. Your intentions? That's a tiny slice. Your words? Another small slice. But the huge majority, the real substance of who you are, that is all consistent action. It just goes to show that who you are is overwhelmingly defined by what you do, day in and day out. Okay, so we get the principle, and we definitely see the payoff. But how do we actually do this? How do we start building that reputation for reliability like today? Let's break it down into a really simple, practical framework. Here it is. It's just 3 steps. First, commit small. Don't go making these huge, sweeping promises. Just start with small, manageable things you absolutely know you can deliver on. Second, execute quietly. You got to resist that urge to tell everyone what you're about to do. Just do it. Put the focus on the work, not the announcement. And third, let the results speak. Once it's done, the result itself is all the communication you need. This cycle, when you repeat it over and over, is exactly how you build a legacy of action. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. This isn't just about getting more stuff done this week. This is about consciously and deliberately building the person you want to become over the long haul. So, what does this all boil down to? It's this. Look, we all have good intentions. We all want to be reliable, trustworthy people. But at the end of the day, our character isn't defined by those good intentions. It's forged in the small, consistent, everyday actions we choose to take. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. This isn't about tomorrow, or next week, or some grand plan. It's about right now. What one small, concrete action can you take today that will prove your reliability? Maybe to someone else, or maybe just to yourself. Because that, right there, is where it all begins.